Hello everyone, I am Rushina Mittal, welcoming you to the MOURI Tech YouTube channel and to the first YouTube live TV session held by MOURI Tech. Without MOURI Tech TV, with MOURI Tech TV, we will be driving leadership conversation covering trending technology topics. CXO Launch is a series where we all have CXO leaders sharing their perspectives and insights. Glad to share that MOURI Tech has recently won the Most Innovative AI Solution Award. This award is a true recognition of the innovative solutions we offer to the customers. To talk about this and the impact artificial intelligence has on today's digital landscape, we have with us Mr. Srini Sandaka, CTO, MOURI Tech. Srini, welcome to CXO Launch, and we are happy to have you here today.
Hi, thank you, Rishina. I really appreciate all of our associates who have been working on these AI solutions. The tremendous effort they put together, especially during the pandemic, where we need to deliver so many solutions and deploy so many productive solutions in such a short time. And also the customers who have trust on us to come forward and implement these solutions for us. There is a high rate of acceptance from our customers as well, because these are all new solutions, and it's not a matured area, AI, as we speak today. But since we have a long-term relationship with our customer, long-term trust that we have, so it's easy for us to deploy and we have the benefits in first 2 to 3 months for most of the customers.
So, first of all, congratulations, Srini, on the achievement. So, how does it feel to receive this award?
No, it's increased the responsibility for us to do more contribution in AI space. So yeah, it's definitely a motivation for us to build more AI solutions to convert the enterprises into more intelligence, to add intelligence to the most of the enterprises through the AI solutions.
Yeah. Thank you, Srini. Thank you so much. Before I begin, please note that we'll have time for Q&A following this conversation.
Okay.
Now, we'll proceed with today's discussion. So, Srini, here's my first question. The pandemic has led to an exponential rise in the adoption of digital technologies. Can you share your perspective on these?
Okay, every pandemic has both advantages and disadvantages as well. I don't want to talk about disadvantages because we have gone through so much pain. I don't want to repeat what we have gone through and what we are going through as well. But if you see the positive side of it, the digital adoption has taken a quantum leap at individual, organizational, and industry levels. The rate of adoptions are years ahead. And especially increase the digital literacy. It usually takes a lot of time for at individual level to adapt these digital way of interacting with applications, with each other, right? So, but especially this pandemic has forced everybody to learn pretty quick. So even you look at your kids, I'm not sure kids are not, but especially my kids at home, they don't know how to use this online tool before. So now they're masters in it, in a ways that they know how to treat teachers. When I observed a couple of times, my son, I thought that he's attending the class, but he's chatting. He's maintained his posture in the video and all, his online meeting, but he's chatting with his friends, the same class on the side. So they're also mimicking the way they are literally physically attending class, they're chit-chatting while in classes and all. They're able to repeat all those things through the digital channels as well. So that kind of adoption we see. And also a lot of consumers are using e-commerce a lot. And with all of these things are possible with such short time, because the ecosystem is also like that. Let's say the cloud is really helpful in this especially the pandemic, to adapt these digital transformations quickly, because you don't need to. Earlier, it took a lot of time for us to obtain the infrastructure and build in all these things, but there are ready-made infrastructure right there, and the low-code, no-code platforms, especially where you can quickly build and enhance your applications to more suitable for digital interaction. So a lot of, before pandemic, a lot of customers, a lot of companies, they were not ready for full digital interaction, but everybody is forced to make these changes very quickly, to make it compatible to handle the digital interactions. And most of these changes, earlier people thought that they are going to be short term and all, but I see most of these changes are going to be long lasting for a better society, in my opinion.
Thank you, Srini. Thank you so much. So some great thoughts are there. So now let me move to the next question. So what are some of the critical factors or needs to consider about their digital investments?
Oh, good question. Okay, first of all, for any this especially for digital investment, this is a one of the significant shift in any organization, these digital adaptations, because it's going to change the way we operate and the way we interact, and it is a big change management. So first of all, this compelling vision and goal alignment. So make sure whatever digital transformation activities that we perform, they're aligned with the organization vision and goals. That's foremost important thing. Then the change management. It's a very critical at all levels, at executive level and at the management level, and at a lower management or each employee level, because it's going to change the way they they work day in day out, right? So, and other critical factors are going to be like the the applications, the platform that we're going to have, especially the customer relationship management. So this is going to be, this is where you see the lot of change uh, with your organization, especially the customer experience. Now with this, all these digital literacy, your customer experience have changed. The expectations have changed with the customer experience, especially the customers, they no longer wait a long time, and they want immediate answers and all those things, because we can able to accommodate without human intervention with a lot of these things. And the next application, or most critical application, is advanced data analytics, especially the AI and ML. And this investment in this area is going to take you towards more of intelligent enterprise. So instead of making decisions on some of these the old classical way, it's a more of data driven decisions. So you're going to make a more accurate decision based on the data points. For that, advanced analytics is more critical area. And emerging technologies like augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, and especially with the remote work. And you can because we did some analysis with some of our airline I think maintenance in the company. So because in order for them to change certain parts and diagnosis, the technician have to travel one area to another area, and it's going to cost a lot in terms of expenses as well as money. And especially pandemic, there is no way that anybody could travel, right? So because what we did was we built an augmented mixed reality, I would say, real, not really augmented reality application, where whoever is available on the at that equipment, they can go and look at that equipment, and that the feed will transmit to the expert who is in 4 miles, and that guy can that expert can provide them the guidance to fix those things, or he will know exactly what's going to happen, and he can provide the information right there to resolve the issue. So these kind of, and last thing that I would say is social media, because nowadays the most the powerful media is social media. So So we got to be watchful and how the customers are reacting about a company, especially the branding side. And any customers nowadays, most of the customers, they're not calling customer service care. They're simply posting this information in our social media channels. So we got to be very cognizant about how we are reacting, how fast we are responding and reacting to resolve these issues. Otherwise, it will be in top trends. If it could be positive or negative, it spreads pretty fast on social media. So investing in social media is also one of the critical factors of digital investments.
Yeah, so those are some interesting inputs and observations, Srini. So I'm sure many organizations and leaders find this very helpful. So moving on to the next. So can you talk about MOURI Tech's approach to building innovation solutions, leveraging emerging technologies such as AI?
Okay, so especially because MOURI Tech has been in the industry more than 16 years. So we have immense experience in deep dive experience, and especially the enterprise solution side of it. We know some of the industries, how they work, and some of the deep dive expertise on the business process side of it. That experience, uh, we are leveraging that experience to build most of these AI solutions. The approach that we take usually is pretty simple: think big, start small, and scale fast. This is the approach that we take. So when we build any AI solution, we think the big picture, not the small component as a solution. So how do we automate, or how do we provide meaningful insights? How do we provide proactive measures to take and all those things? So we think it big picture, but when we start small as a concept and see how that works. Because if something is not working out, you need to know quickly that if you fail quick, that's innovation, right? In any innovation, the fast you fail is better, because failure rate in innovation is more, but the faster you fail, and the faster you realize that certain things are not working, and you can immediately make your priorities, change your priorities, and we'll take it further. That's why we will build a concept. Especially, we measure the proof of value, not only the concept, but we also measure the value that created from that concept. Then, if it works, then we can immediately scale fast. That is the approach that we take. That is how we've been success in deploying 4 different solutions in the AI space in the brand of Aura Suite. If you go to aurasuite.ai, AURASUITE.ai, you will see the 4 different products in the AI space we built in such a short time, and especially the adoption rate is very high during this pandemic.
Yeah, so this is something which is wonderful. So how do you think that customers' expectations have changed around leveraging AI?
Yeah, the customer expectations around, first of all, the physical and virtual worlds, the line become very thin. So you are interacting physical and virtual world at the same time. Especially recent times, uh, the customers expecting to have a virtual showrooms. They don't want to visit the physical showroom, or before even they visit the physical showrooms, they want to have the virtual experience, understand the completely. Then they want to have very limited interaction at the physical stores. Uh, so that's why, to have this physical and virtual worlds, we build virtual reality applications, and virtual experience is much more important. That's what we see. And especially the now another expectation from the customers around AI is the conversational interface, AI-based conversational interface. Customers no longer wanted to click so many things and go to menu, click, and find identifying information. They want to interact with application the way they interact with another human being, in a natural language processing, no longer commands or something like that. They want to simply chat saying that, okay, I would like to buy so and so, or I have an issue with my product, and where can I find that help, or what is the warranty of my like a laptop that is there. That is all they want to interact with the applications. That not only customers, also employees. So we built some conversational applications where employees self-service conversational interface, where employees don't need to log into their portal, employee self-service portal, to access their pay stubs or to get the leaves or apply leaves. They can simply log in, use their Teams chatbot, and perform all kinds of employee service activities without leaving that simple window. That's kind of expectations that customers or have today, especially on the conversational side and the virtual experience side of it.
Yeah, obviously. So applications are the new human friends for now.
Yes, yes, yes,
So
yes.
yeah, yeah. Moving on to the next, your thoughts on how AI has been driving force behind Industry 4.0. So would you like to share some client insights?
Okay. Yeah, there is no question about AI is the driving force for Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 is all about connected machines and the connectivity between the machines and connectivity between the humans and the machines and factory floors. And this is all about Industry 4.0, 4.0, right? So you're going to collect in this process, you're going to collect a lot of data. So unless you find the meaningful insights and there is no use of having this data. So that's why AI is going to play a crucial role to churn this data that is being generating out of these lot of devices and systems, and identifying the meaningful insights, and not only using AI to identify the insights and all, but also making decisions. So look at that, the automated cars. It's making a lot of decisions on the fly. It's right there. Look at if we can implement similar decision making in our enterprise applications, it will be, I would say, more accurate than human decisions if you train your AI properly. That's why AI is going to be critical in the success of having Industry 4.0, and to build more intelligent autonomous enterprise. I would say autonomous enterprise. That means, so most of the decisions are going to be taken by your AI application without having any human intervention. That is what we will see in going forward. And let's say, for example, some of these simple things are like self-optimizing supply chain systems. So the supply chain intelligence is going to be built within the supply chain systems where they can optimize their supply chain operations on their own. So by taking internal data as well as external factors such as weather and all those factors. And we built one of the AI applications for dynamic pricing, where it considered a lot of other factors, external factors. You would, I mean, usually we don't even believe those external factors are going to be part of driving these pricings. So yeah, you going forward more and more, we see these kind of AI applications a lot.
Uh, this was really informative one. The last from my side. So what are some of the challenges companies face with implementing AI solutions?
Okay, the first and foremost challenge that every organization have is data. The data strategy and quality data. These two are most important factors, challenges before we start. Even without data, AI cannot do anything, right? AI can sit on top of your data to find insights, to identify pattern, anomalies, and all those things. That means you have to have a proper data in place, the quality data especially. And when we start building AI solution, initial stages like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and the biggest challenge that we face and to understand the data, the business data, and some of the customers, they don't even understand what they have in their systems. Yeah, they use the applications I've been using, but maybe sometimes application may be using like 20% of the data that they have, and remaining 80% nobody knows. So a lot of time took for us to understand the data and then build proper application, AI solutions on top of it. So that's why having proper data strategy, especially the data governance and data security, and nowadays these are the critical things, um, and and especially apart from this data and all, you need to involve your employees, key stakeholders, especially subject matter experts and field level service experts from the initial stages of AI adoption. Because laid off misconception saying that, okay, if AI is implemented, we're going to lose the jobs. That's misconception. So you need to educate your employees saying that you're going to AI going to is going to like it will be like a digital arm, digital tool for every employee to make their job easy. That is what we need to convince employees from ground level all the way up to the management, saying that this is going to be an additional tool or aid. Usually we call that as a digital arm for to perform their job more easier. So, and at the same time, we need to take inputs from these ground level and involve them from initial stages rather than later, because the problem is once you complete the solution and put them in hands, so if they don't have the key KPIs that they're expecting, or any data points that they're expecting to do their job, and there's no use of it. Because we built plant automation solution, one of our logistics customers, and we had to involve all the forklift drivers and field service agents and people are on the floor. When during initial stages of it, we built because they don't know yeah and all, right? So we built some mimic wireframes and mimic some information and see how best you can uh, use this application. How is it useful for them to, we built a quick concept applications and we put them in hands and observe for a couple of weeks, and we take the inputs, and that's how we fine tune the application before the hand, rather than a change management changes after go live. So we did that exercise in advance, and that way when we go live, we see a lot of adoption because they know what they're expecting on their hands and how that new application is going to help them in their day in day out activities. And it's easy for us to for employees to use it, and at the same time we see the return on investment and pretty quick in first 3 months.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Srini, for sharing a lot of insights around technology, innovation, and the role of artificial intelligence in today's digital business landscape. I'm sure the participants have found this session interesting and knowledgeable. I see some of the participants sharing questions in the live chat. Shall we take those,
Yeah,
Srini?
sure, no problem.
Yeah. This question is from Nidhi. How can conversational AI enrich customers' experience and maximize digital engagement?
Okay, not sure is everybody can uh, because when I land in one of the airports in India, okay, and I want to take a cab. So I told them this is where I want to go and all. So what they did was they immediately turn on the application. They said they speak to the application saying that this is the address they want to go. I'm surprised. They don't even know the English. Believe me, they don't even know. If you talk to them in English, they won't even understand what you're talking about. But they know how to talk to an application. I was surprised. It's pretty quick. It's not even 5 seconds. They just pick the address to the application and then it give the map and the rate, because they need to understand which driver they need to pick and what is the rate that they're gonna charge for that. This is a live example of the customer experience. I would say engaging application, especially in my phone, uh, the most frequently used application, at least 2 or 3 times a day is Siri. So I talk to Siri a lot because earlier it used to take like 20 seconds for me to type my task reminders and all. Then I was not using that. Nowadays, it's really a digital assistant. My assistant is Siri. I would say that because I mean, whenever I thought of having some reminders and all, I just hey Siri, remind me tomorrow to call, or remind me so and so, or slip in an application. Yeah, you can see a lot of live examples, and especially if you look at the Bank of America application, they have beautiful conversational AI in banking. So you don't need to, while I'm driving, I can say that. So please transfer so and so amount to so and so, and that's it. It's pretty quick because this when you cannot execute long transactions, but just a simple getting that information and executing a simple transactions is pretty easy with conversational interfaces.
Yeah. So just like the application, Siri is also a new friend for everyone.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Especially for men, because that is the only woman that listens.
So hopefully the
Without
women
asking
can
any
say,
questions, without any arguments.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was something which men's are liking the most.
That's why these virtual worlds and physical worlds,
Mm.
and that's the beautiful. When you are, I mean, when you say, "Hey Siri," see, this is the response is like that.
So yeah, this was something actually which is, yeah, humans are making the friend like these days. So yeah, this is nice.
No,
So
especially next generation, uh, they will be more interacting with applications in natural language process than the regular commands and all. That's the capability that's building around the applications and future applications, I would say.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Can we take the next question?
Yeah.
So here, yeah, here's the question. So how does AI act as a catalyst in freeing up resources and provide better business efficiency at a reduced cost?
Uh, I would say, let's take an example. Digital decap is one of our products as part of our suite AI solutions, right? So what it does is it's process your any document. So we build, this is a platform. It processes your purchase orders, can process your invoice. And one of the solutions that we build is KYC, know your customer. So what is that is does is it takes your customer proof of information, as could be your passport, driving license, state ID, anything. And then it compares the information on your application. Make sure, yeah, the customers usually they use it to do a manual verification. The two problems. One is the transaction time, transaction cost, and accuracy. These three. So sometimes human they, they make a mistake. They may make a mistake, right? So that's why this, especially the AI solution, what it does is it first verifies. We use the computer vision technique to implement the solution. So it's look at the ID that's being sent, it's scanned or picture, whatever, right? So identify whether it is a passport, a driver's license, or state ID. That's first categorization. Then it verifies whether it is invalid or not. It compares the information on the application versus this ID that you provided, and then it verifies the valid or not, because sometimes you may have a driver's license, but it may not be valid anymore, right? So that's why it verifies all things automatic without manual intervention. Then it processes the next transaction. So imagine how much manual intervention that we are avoiding. That means this is what we call intelligence process automation, or IRPA, intelligent robotic process automation. How much time that we are, it's a fast, right? So these bots, as soon as we receive the information about the specific verification, the bot is picked up immediately, it performs, within less than a minute, all these kind of jobs. And whereas in human intervention, it's going to take about 2 to 3 minutes for them to process it. That means we reduce 1/3 of our time to process the document. That speed up our business transaction. That's a saving. And Heather, we are avoiding this manual intervention, which means the body is available 24/7. And then there are so many other long-lasting benefits. Definitely, it's much cheaper in terms of cost of it, and not only cost factor, there are other accuracy factor and risk factors. All these factors have been, if you combine all of them, there are huge savings, especially for the recap. And another solution that we built, Smart Eye, Aura Smart Eye. So what it does is, again, it verifies the manufacturing plant and analyze the video feeds and identifies, especially we deploy the solution to verify the quality of meat for one of the food processing industry, and some other security things. Like say, for example, there are certain areas where people are not supposed to go in certain times. We deploy this AI solution on, you don't need any additional infrastructure. So they have the security cameras and all. We take that feed, and the Smart Eye, we train Smart Eye to identify, okay, from so and so time to so and so time, you should not see any people or any human being shouldn't enter in this premises. And these kind of solutions that we implemented using Smart Eye.
Yeah, obviously. So AI is making the things more easier and more faster for us.
Yes, most faster and more accurate, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be taking the another question, and this is that why is it essential to automate enterprise application using Smart Eye AI solution?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. Why is it essential to automate enterprise applications using Smart AI solution?
Smart AI, not Smart Eye. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Smart
Yes,
AI
yes,
solution.
sorry. I heard that Smart Eye because, okay. Yes, of course, it is essential. Depends on how you want to take it, right? So let's say, especially this hyper automation these days. So automate as much as we can. So for all business processes, that will avoid the delays in delivering business transactions and processing business transactions, and identify any risk upfront. So let's say, for example, there is a weather impact in some of the area, and you can immediately plan for alternatives in your supply chain. Or there is a crisis in some of the Middle East or somewhere where you're procuring raw material, and immediately on manufacturing floors, you can plan an alternative by using these Smart AI solutions. Smart AI solution will take these feeds and immediately alert the appropriate people. You don't need to make a manual. Earlier, what we used to do is somebody has to analyze the information, make the decisions and all. Now, this AI is automatically connect the dots and give you the actionable insights, I would say. So there is an event, and that's going to disrupt or interrupt your supply chain or manufacturing and make an alternative. And so there are a lot of use cases. We can talk continuously for next couple of hours.
Yeah, exactly. I think that we are on top of the hour.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the questions in the live chat. Yeah, and thank you so much, Srini. It was really a wonderful to have you on this CXO launch. Appreciate for taking your time out for here.
Thank you, Rishina.
Thank you so much, Srini.
All right.
Yeah, and I would like thank each and every one of you for joining this program today. We believe you have found this very interesting and helpful. We are geared up to come up with similar leadership connects. Do subscribe and stay tuned for the upcoming programs.